I was 6, 7 when I got into professional karting. So I've done road tax. The most memorable moment I had as a driver was in my recent race that just happened. I had my first podium finish, which marked the first milestone of my career. So it's really close to my heart, and it was one of the most memorable moments. Anybody who wants to make a career in racing, it's one of the most adrenaline-driven sports. So I think the best way you can start is with karting. Karting is like the ground root level to racing. When you start off with the karting, you get to learn the actual race art and race craft. So which preps you for circuit racing and early on in life.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Welcome, ma'am. I'm fine. Welcome to Instagram live session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
मैम
Let me
मैंने आपकी
just.
थोड़ी सी
Sorry?
मैम मैंने आपकी एक छोटी सी इंट्रो दी है. You are first female car racer from JNK and you have a profession from medical background and you are also a hobby pilot. So first of all, we would like to know about your journey as a car racer. How did it started and when?
Well, I've started racing very early on in my life. I started with karting. So I started karting at a very young age. I was 6, 7 when I got into professional karting. So I've done road tax. So I started with road tax very early on, and then I moved to single seaters and formula racing. Then I moved my way into touring cars. So I've done formula racing as well as I've done touring cars.
Okay. So, ma'am, as a child, who was your favorite car racer? Is it the same person who inspired you to become a car racer yourself?
Well, my favorite car racer has always been Michael Schumacher. I loved him as a child. I was really, I always looked up to him. So, yeah, I mean, he was my favorite racing driver. Michael Schumacher.
Okay. So, ma'am, you have recently participated in MRF National Car Racing Champion, which was held in Chennai, I guess. So, tell us your experience regarding the same.
Yeah, my recent championship was MRF National Racing Championship, and it was in Chennai, as you've just said. So, yeah, it was really good. I mean, as long as I'm racing, I'm always happy. So, it was a really good experience. I had my first podium finish, which also marked the first milestone of my career because it was the first podium finish of my career. So, yeah, like, this championship was really important to me and really close to my heart.
So, ma'am, which car do you prefer riding? Is it a road car or a racing car? And tell us about the difference between the both and your experience related to them.
You're talking about the difference between a road car and a racing car.
Yes, ma'am,
Well,
and your experience.
yeah, see, I'll tell you what, a road car and a racing race car, they're entirely different, two different worlds. You cannot say a race, you can't even compare a race car to a road car. I mean, they look similar. A race car looks exactly like a road car. I mean, if you look at it in a way, it's a vehicle with four cars, both of them running on a road. But on a race car has a different set of technicalities when it comes to, like, I'll tell you what. There is always the perspective behind building a race car and the perspective behind building a road car is entirely different. Because if you see a road car, the the perspective behind road car is safety, it's durability, it's comfort. For a race car, it's performance, performance, and performance. Race cars are built to be stronger. Race cars are built to be faster. Race cars are built to be endurant. You cannot compare a road car to a race car because that's a lot of times people ask me this question. Oh, I'm a very good road car driver, and I race on the roads, but I say no, it's entirely different. A race car and a road car are entirely two different worlds. A race car is like, I mean, you can't even give it's not even like apples and oranges. They're very, very, very different. And if you see the way a road car operates, it's like the main focus is towards durability and towards the comfort. The road cars are understeered cars. A race car is an oversteered car. Race car is an oversteered car. A road car is like somewhat of a like it features more of a safety protocol. A race car, the safety is the latter thing. The more of focuses on the performance. It has to be faster. The road car is very like it's not very responsive to the inputs. Race cars are very responsive. They're more powerful, so they're very different from each other. So I mean, they're two different things. So yeah, I mean, that's what the basic difference is between a road car and race car, because the components that are used to build a race car are way different than what you would use in a normal car. I mean, for example, I'll give you the connectors in a race cars are are they can withstand a pressure temperature of like what 100 to 120 Celsius. But for the same connector that goes in a race car, goes up and can withstand a temperature of more than 170 degrees Celsius. So it makes it, the component that is used in race cars are much stronger and more resilient, and because the main purpose is the performance. So like they're very different worlds. So that's why I always tell people, and I always discourage people from racing on the roads also, because street racing is one of the most dangerous things you can do. And I've always been an advocate for safer driving.
So what is your favorite, ma'am?
Sorry,
between a race car and a raid car or a road car?
Well, when it comes to road car, I like to cruise. I like to put on a good music, you know, go for a long drive, just cruising around. So that's how I like my road cars to be, and I drive very safely and responsibly. Road cars. When I'm in the race car, I like to be aggressive. I like to be really focused. I like to be really instinctive. I like to be really, you know, like when I'm driving a race car, I'd be very aggressive. But when I'm on the roads, I'm really nice and a very sober driver, safe driver. I'm a very safe driver.
So, ma'am, tell us about something about this before racing rituals.
My before racing rituals. I mean, what I do before racing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so of course I pray to Allah for a good race, and then I usually like before a race I don't eat too much, or I eat sometimes I don't eat at all. I just have a cup of coffee. But if I'm feeling like something, I'll have like slow digesting carbs, something like porridge or oats, or I'll have that. And then I'll go for my session, and of course I have coffee, and I also like to hydrate, not just water, but also with electrolytes. So I drink like water with electrolytes. I mean, so yeah, that's what I do, and yeah, that's what I do.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, while racing, we are very prone to this nausea kind of a feeling. So that's why you are choosing these kind of things, as you have mentioned that you go for a coffee or electrolyte. So these things help in controlling that nausea feeling?
Well, nausea is because of the G-force. Because in racing we do experience a lot of G-force, and yeah, I mean, you prep yourself in that kind of a way. I mean, you become endurant. You work out. Like when it comes to racing, the most important muscle, the most important part of your body has to be your neck. So if your neck is stronger, your core is stronger, you have a thick neck, you have a quite resilient body, then it becomes really easy to endure these kind of pressures like G-force, and because it's the same force that puts the plane in the sky, it's the same force that puts the car on the ground. So I mean, of course, on the straights, the G-force is a lot smoother. As you get into the corner, it gets a little stronger. So yeah, I mean, if you have a strong neck, you're strong. I mean, physically, you're strong.
As a sports person, what exercise or what workout do you follow?
Well, of course, you need to have a really strong body. Overall, you need to have a really strong core. You need to have a really strong shoulders, neck. Very important. I always tell you. I mean, it's because you know everything else is supported when we are in the race car. Everything is belted. Our whole body, it's quite intact. The seat, it's a lot. You're like kind of having a lot of support, but the neck is like. It doesn't have the support, so your neck naturally has to be very strong, because when you're in like on the straights you don't experience a lot of G-force, but as you're entering into the corner, especially around the braking zones and braking areas, there's a lot of G-force, and when that when that thing comes in, I mean, if you have a weaker body, you could literally be like, strong to another side.
Okay. So, ma'am, do you think these video game stimulators help the racer in the track also?
Yes, I mean, simulators do play a role. I do a lot of sim racing, but the thing is, the simulators, I mean, they do play a great role in, like, they give you the feel of the car. You get a little used to the whole speeding thing and all. But I mean, yeah, of course, it has its own pros and cons, racing games and all. The techs have really come a lot ahead in recent times, so they do help. But getting in a race car properly and getting the feel of the race car, because most of the sensations that you get in a road car, I mean, sorry, in a simulator, I mean, in a proper race car, you won't get those similar sensation in a simulator. So, I mean, simulator has its own pros, but I think a race car, being there on your own and doing the sessions on your own, I think that is much better. But yeah, I mean, simulators are important, but it's very expensive. I mean, you can't be on the track all the time. So yes, it's more economical, I would say. Yeah.
So, ma'am, what is the most memorable moment as a driver you have?
The most memorable moment I had as a driver was in my recent race that just happened. I had my first podium finish, which marked the first milestone of my career. So it's really close to my heart, and it was one of the most memorable moments. And also, this was the time I missed my father a lot at that point, because my father has been a really had a real, a lot of contribution in my career, and I lost him pretty young on in my life. And I missed him a lot, and that was the time, I mean, that was one of the most memorable moments, and also the moment where I really missed him. If he would have been there, it would have been much better.
Ma'am, what kind of safety protocols you have to follow on track when we are going on a track?
Safety protocols are all laid out by FIA. FIA gives us, I mean, that they're very strict with their rules. We go through proper scrutiny before every racing session or any race we get. I mean, before we go on the track, we are given proper set of rules. I mean, we have to be in our proper FIA gears. Racing suits, helmets, and gears have to be properly FIA certified. Also, the seat belts have to be FIA certified. I mean, there are a lot of things that come into action. I mean, safety protocols have to be matched even before a driver is let off on the track. And I mean, of course, motorsports is risky. It is a risky sport, but that's how it is. They're very strict with the FIA. It's very strict with their rules and guidelines.
Okay. So, ma'am, any advice you want to give to the youth who want to adopt this profession as a career?
Absolutely. I think if anybody who wants to make a career in racing, it's one of the most like adrenaline-driven sports. So I think the best way you can start is with karting. Karting is like the ground root level to racing. It preps you. It's actually a prep for circuit drivers. So because when you start off with the karting, you get to learn the actual race art and race craft. So which preps you for circuit racing and early on in life. So I highly recommend people to start off with karting. I started karting when I was 6, 7, so I moved my way up. So it's very important to start off with karting, and it's a purest form of driving. You get to learn everything in the karting place. Get to learn the race art, the racecraft. You're prepped for being a racer in karting. So yeah, that's what I recommend. The people who are watching me, if you're interested, I mean, of course, karting. If your children are interested in racing, you should always get them. And I think 6, 7, 8 is a good age for them to start and get into karting.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining this live session and for sharing your amazing journey with us.
Thank you so much.
It was a very, very interactive session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, bye-bye.